Alrighty guys, so today we are going to be working on activity 2.4. This one is continuous contour. Now, the difference between blind and continuous contour is actually just the amount of time that you look at your paper. Everything else is pretty much the same. You can use a similar material. We are observing an object for its different surfaces. And we are just going to peek at our paper here a little bit, a part of the time. We're still going to spend a lot of the time observing, and this is still a seeing experiment, and it's not about having a perfect, pretty drawing. You can use a pen, you can use a pencil, but we are going to have one continuous line where we're going to start, we're going to draw, and we're not going to pick our pencil or a pen up until we're done. Okay, so any objects or shapes that you see that are sort of overlapping, you might need to kind of go over them a couple of times. Before we start, make sure your name is at the top, right? I just write demo on mine so that you guys know this is the demo. But you can see we're going to put our shoe out in front of the table, same deal. So yours is probably still out, okay? If it's not, get it up there. And you're going to choose a place on the shoe where you will begin your observation. What that means is you just pick wherever you want to start when you're observing, and you're just going to continue on that path as you draw, okay? And you're not going to pick your pen up until you are done. So when we talk about observing our shoe part of the time, we're talking about sort of a breakdown of time so that you can be sure that you're not looking at your paper too much, okay? The more you look at your paper while you're observing, the more you're relying on your memory, your mind to draw, okay? So we're going to be working on observing our shoe, and we want to look at our paper 1 second for every 5 seconds, okay? Okay, so we are going to observe our shoe, and we are going to set it out in front of us. Now with this one, you can kind of set it, I'm going to put mine sideways so that you guys can see what I'm drawing, but for you, you should have yours this way, okay, so that you can actually see what you're doing, okay? So I'm going to have mine this way so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm going to try and get this a little higher so you can kind of see everything. Okay, so here's my shoe. I'm going to kind of observe. This might be tricky. Let's see if I can get this to stay up. There we go. Well, now you guys can't see it. Okay, that's better. So I'm going to start down at the heel, and now I'm going to be drawing, like I said, I'm just going to focus on what I'm drawing, but now I can peek at my paper, but I'm still really paying attention to what I'm seeing in the shoe here. So I'm going over all these lines. And you can see I'm going over lines again. I'm going to have to turn this, guys, so I can see it. Okay, got laces. There's a piece of cloth coming down. But you can see how I'm overlapping things. It's super important that you do this. You don't pick your pencil up, no matter what. I'm paying attention to all these little shapes that I see. I'm just letting one lead to another here. If you have to go back and get one, go back and get it. Don't worry about it. Remember, the important thing here is that you're paying attention to the shapes that you see, how they overlap, what are they really doing. Don't worry about if it starts to look like a tangled mess. Remember, we're still working on seeing, okay? I'm going to have to come back down here and get some of these little nuanced shapes. This comes down. And the shape. So now you can see as I compare the two drawings, similar types of lines, but now this one looks a lot more like a shoe, right? Still not the best drawing, but we're really looking at the shapes that we see, not only the whole shape, but also the shapes within and how they are overlapping, okay? So this is how you do a continuous contour. It's called continuous because you're literally just continuing to draw throughout. You put your pen down or your pencil down and you keep drawing until you get to the end. Alrighty, so enjoy this one, guys. That's continuous contour.